long. Let's switch topics. We'll be joined by Congressman Louis Gohmert of Texas in a little while later in this hour. But right now, we are joined by Ronald Hampton, the D.C. representative for blacks in law enforcement, to weigh in on what happened last Thursday, as we all watched in horror, as there was a lockdown in Washington, D.C., and a car, as we saw in the videotape over and over and over, a car with turned out an unarmed black woman in it, mother who had her 1-year-old or 2-year-old daughter in the car with her, was gunned down by the police after she refused to stop. Joining us now, as I said, is our guest, Ronald Hampton. Hey, Ronald, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you today?
I'm fine. Okay, so I know that your group has been outspoken about wanting answers. What kind of answers have you gotten? I know that the family, who's from Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn, the family said that when they went down to identify the body, they didn't even see the body. They had to look at a picture.
Right.
Where are we right now, and what are you looking for going forward?
Well, we're looking for some answers. Simply, there should be an investigation, and there is an investigation going on. So hopefully, within the next, I would think, 10 to 15 days, that we would have some answers to some of the questions. You know, why was it necessary to shoot? Does the Capitol Hill Police, along with the Uniform Division of the Secret Service, what are their policies when it comes to shooting at moving vehicles? Do they have a chase policy? Do they have a policy as it relates to should officers stand in front of the car or stand behind the car? Because most municipal police departments don't shoot at moving vehicles, nor they also train their people not to stand in front of cars, because when a person is trying to get away and they're in a car, you don't stand in front of the car because you're putting yourself in danger when you do that. So there are a lot of questions that I think that should be asked, and answers should be forthcoming after they get into or complete the investigation.
All right, but let me play devil's advocate here for a second. As it turned out, she was an unarmed black woman with a kid in the car. However, we know about her problems,
Right.
and saying, according to her boyfriend, that Obama was talking to her and all this kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
But here, let's just say there was a terrorist or a wannabe terrorist with loaded to the teeth in the car, who did exactly the same thing that she did. The cops at the time don't know what they're dealing with. They don't know if there's explosives in the car, if the guy's got a rifle, if the guy's got a cannon, what he's capable of. If maybe there's another car that's going to work in conjunction. I mean,
Right.
How could they? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's why you follow procedures, because regardless of what it is that's in the car. Say, for example, if the car was loaded with explosives, then you're shooting at the car. The car might have a tendency then to explode if that was the case. So that's why you follow procedure. But first of all, before you know whether or not they violated procedure, you have to understand or know what the procedures are as it relates to shooting at moving vehicles, jumping in front of moving cars, and all those kind of things. And as I said, I know as a retired former Metropolitan Police officer, we had policies that said that you couldn't do those kind of things. So I don't know what the policy is for the U.S. Capitol Police or for the Uniform Division of the Secret Service, but those are the kind of things that you don't do. So, and when you talk about the example that you use, you don't want to be shooting in a car that may have explosives in it, because you could set the explosives.
Well, that's a good point. But so right. you're looking for, you don't know what the Capitol Police and Secret Service procedures are. Do you think it's wise for especially the Secret Service, or maybe even the Capitol Police? I just had a former Navy SEAL on, and he's dumbfounded that they told us that the SEAL raid into into Somalia was called off when they saw that there was too many kids around the target that they were going for, so they retreated. And he's saying, well, now you're sending a message to every enemy we have: just surround yourself with kids and children, and we won't come get you. So I mean, so is it?
I don't know if let me say this. I don't know if I would subscribe to that, because that was a situation, and usually in those situations, just like in law enforcement situations, there's somebody on the ground who makes a decision about whether.
But my point is, I'm not here to debate that. My point is, going further, if we know, if if the Secret Service comes forth and says, here's exactly what we do given every situation, here's our policies, same with the Capitol Police, isn't that a tip-off to a potential terrorist?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because most policies, as it relates to how a police department operates, are public record in the beginning already. Those policies that are secret are generally, and as a matter of fact, those policies are available for the public to look at. Those that are somewhat secret, I guess really secret, they are redacted, but you could get a copy of those things, and so you can get that information. We're not giving away, or the police department is not giving away any secrets. That is not the case, but the agency has to have some operating procedure as it relates to certain things. So clearly, you don't want to endanger the public's life. Say, I'm just looking at the film on TV when all of this started.
Right.
And the officers are shooting at the car and all that. There were innocent bystanders on the other side of the car, across the street, and in the areas. When you're shooting at a moving car, bullets have a tendency to bounce off of the car simply because it's moving.
Right. All right. So
not
you're
because it's sitting still. So I mean, you can't catch the criminal and then endanger everybody else's life around that.
right. All right. So briefly, you're looking. Who are you speaking with to try to get answers, and when do you think you'll get some?
No, there's an attorney, Mr. Eric Saunders, who is representing the family, and then their family representatives, and they will be the ones who will be in the receipt of all of this information.
Gotcha. Ronald, thank you very much. A pleasure talking to you, sir.
The same here. Thank you.
Take care. Ronald Hampton, ladies and gentlemen, D.C. representative for Blacks in Law Enforcement, here on the Steve Malzberg Show, talking about Miriam Carey, who was shot by law enforcement last Thursday on the mall in D.C. Joining us after the break will be Congressman Louis Gohmert. He'll comment on what the president had to say today, comment on what John Boehner just had to say. All that right here, the place to be. The Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and